All right, great.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Thank you for the feedback. So, good evening. You're welcome to the four of our Power Platform series. um, so, we are 7 minutes behind schedule already, so I wouldn't want to take more of our time so that we can maximize the time that we have left for today's session. So, yesterday we had we started on how to build our apps yesterday, and so what we did essentially was to connect our app to our dataverse, our table on the dataverse, and then it generated some screens for us, which after then we brought in our fields, we did some editing, some customization, and that is where we are going to proceed today. So let me at this point hand over to Noya so she continues with from where we stopped yesterday. And while I wait, I expect that she takes on from here, please, every one of us, we are expected to have to be in our environment. We have our environment logged onto, and also we have our apps as we had it yesterday, we have it opened, and from there, so we can quickly catch up and follow through with whatever we are doing today. So, Naye, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Musin.
You're welcome.
Yes. So, good evening, everyone. Good evening, and happy Sunday to all of us. Uh, so we'll be continuing from where we stopped yesterday. So yesterday we learned how to create the three screens, the three major screens from your that's Power Apps creates for you. That's your browse screen, your details screen, and your edit screen. And today, for the first part of the session today, what we'll be doing is we'll be adding some more screens to the Power Apps, to the app that we created yesterday. So the first thing I want us to do, like what Muslim said, is you should be in your Power Apps environment. So you have different environments. I'm in my own environment. So be in your Power Apps environment. So I just want you to basically have what is currently displayed on the screen. Currently displayed on the screen. S- Okay. So once you have that, in our Power Apps, you have your home, you have learn, you have apps. I remember yesterday we said that when you want to see all the apps that you created, you should just go to apps. So let's click on apps. Let's all click on apps. Click on apps. And you can see the app that you created. The app that I created yesterday. So what I created yesterday was sales directory app. Sales directory app. Please kindly confirm if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yes, I
can.
can hear you.
Okay. So what we just do is we want to edit the app. So if you just wanted to look at it, let's say you're done with your app, you finish making it, you can just click on it. But since we want to edit the app, want to make it more understandable. So what we just do is I want to add more features. You just come to these three ellipses here, and click on it. You can see edit. So you can decide to edit your app. That's what we want to do today because we want to add more features. You can add it to Teams also. So during the last part, we'll be talking about all these things. You can add to Teams, you can delete it, you can export, you can share. So what we want to do, we want to edit this app. So let's click on edit. So mine is loading. I guess yours should be loading also. It's a little bit slow because of the network. Okay. So if you have all your screens, please, if you have it displayed like this, please use the hand tool to raise up your hand. You've been able to get there. Use the hand tool to raise up your hand. Can see only four hands up. Can see only four hands up. Only four hands up. I guess maybe it's the network. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add more screens. We're going to add like an intro screen like you have with your, I'll always use the mobile banking app, for example. If you open maybe your Zenith Bank app or let's say your Fidelity Bank app, you have your first screen which tells you to log in. You can log in, you can register, open an account or help. But since we're just doing like a demo app, a simple app for the first time, we just have a screen that shows you login, and then we put a button there that will take you to your browse screen. So we're going to have a login, we're going to add two screens today. We'll have the login screen and then we'll also create the like success screen. So when you're done filling the details, you want to tell the person, okay, everything is successful, you're done with what you wanted to do. So what we just do is, let's come here. You can see here on the home tab, you can see this ribbon called new screen. New screen. So let's click on new screen. Let's click on that drop down and let's pick a blank screen. Let's pick a blank screen. Let's pick a blank screen. So after you've picked that blank screen, you can decide to rename it. So you can see here, if you click the three ellipses here, you can rename, or faster, you can just double click to rename. So let's call this our login screen. Call it login screen. Let's call it our login screen. Login screen. So now you can decide to arrange it. So currently now we have a login screen as a last screen, but since I'm someone that is very particular about like the arrangement or the alignment, I want this login screen to come above your browse screen one. So you can just click on this ellipsis here and move up. You move it up slowly, you put again, move up, move up. So let's quickly do that and use the hand tool. If you're done, move up. Let's quickly do that. Okay. So now we have a blank screen here, and normally when you have an app, the first page, like the intro page or screen, usually has something like an image and a button that shows, okay, this is um let's say the introduction or the first page of the app. So we want to add an image here, and what we want to do is we want to get a picture that depicts the app we are creating. So now let's say we want to check for something like accounts. So we can just search for any picture on accounts, account creation. Let's just say account creation, or let's just put accounts and see accounting or account. Let's get any image. Mm, let's just type app. Just get any image of your choice that depicts what. Okay, let's say it's a sales app. Let's say sales app. Let me just check for a picture. You can decide to add your own logo. So we are just using like a simple, okay, I love this picture. So let's see if it's okay. This is an iStock image to buy access for payment. So let's just get a simple image.
Hello, please, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Like yesterday that we used on Splash to
Mm,
to get some pictures
yes.
online. So I noticed that this time around we just went on on online just
No,
we're
it's
not
on
using
Splash. It's still on
okay.
Splash. Yes, it's still on Splash. So there are different places you can get HD images. You can get from Unsplash. You can get from Pixels. Uh, I'll try to remember the second one, Unsplash, Pixels. Yes, I think also Google Images sometimes are clear. Then let's bring in the background image. So you can just come here where we brought our image from the last time under Properties pane, background image. You have none is currently displayed. So you can bring in the new image. The downloads. So today we are going to add some little functions to the app. So this button you are creating now is just like you're adding a function to your app, and that's going to make the app more understandable. And okay, I'll put it as a field. There's a field. So you can decide to customize your app. Let's say you're creating your app for your company. You can decide to use, let's say, your company logo. You can decide to use yes, your company logo. You can add some other things you want to add. Let's say I want to use, let's say, Microsoft's logo. Microsoft. Let me see if check for Microsoft's logo on Unsplash. You'll see. So you can just add your logo. Okay, since we don't have Microsoft logo, we can just pick anyone. Okay, I can decide to take this Jaguar. No. Mm, okay, let me download this image here. Tesla. And come to your Power Apps. So now the thing is, now currently this image we created or we downloaded, we want to bring it as we don't want to bring it as a background image. We want to bring it like a logo. So what you can do, the way we'll bring it now is we'll go to insert because we are bringing it now as an image, just a small image that's going to take, let's say, a small portion of this your background image itself or this your screen. So when you go to your insert tab, you can see different ribbons there. You have label, button, text, inputs, gallery, data tables, form, media. So I want to bring in a media. That's an image. So click on media. Click on media. Drop down for media. You can see image, camera. But what I want to bring in is an image. So let's click on image. Let's click on image. Want to create the user interface of the app. Want to make it look more beautiful. Add some designs to the app. So this is an image. Okay. Then now I want to add an image here. So currently you have a blank image because it's showing none. So we'll also go back to our properties pane again, click on none and add an image file. Add an image file. So this is the image we brought in and click on open. So this is my picture. I don't like it. Can decide to change it because
Hello, please. I can't hear your voice.
oh sorry. I don't know. I think it's the network. So I said I can decide to put my logo somewhere here, up here. So you can just put your logo anywhere you feel like putting it, but I prefer putting my logos up here. So it doesn't occupy a space where you can use to put a text. So you can put my logo up here. So I changed the image because the logo is darker. And the other image was also, I think, dark. The other image was also dark. So I just needed something that would bring out the logo. Then you can decide to put a text here. Okay, now you have your login screen. A person, let's say you just decide to publish the app for someone and you give the person this app and the person does not know, okay, what is this app all about? So you have to put, okay, if it's this an accounts app or let's say it's a sales directory app, you can decide to put here a text, sales directory app, or like if you're using some other apps, you can see the name of the app there. So let's just say we want to put a text there. Let's put a text. Let's put a text. Can put it as a label. Let's put a text. So it might not be clear. Let's put text. And let's say we want to call it sales directory directory. And then we can now format it using this our properties pane. We change the font size. Let's change it to Lato Black. Can increase the font to like 35 or let's say 40. Then we can change the font weight to bold. We can now change the text alignment. I want it to be in the center. Center. Can decide to change your text color. I don't like this color is black. Let's say I want to make it, let's say blue. The blue be better there or red because of the logo. Yeah, I think this looks better. This looks better. So another way you can also improve in making your app is also like taking a course on like UI UX so that you can also understand the user interface or how someone that is using this app will want to use it, like the end user, how they'll feel when they're using the app. Then learn about the design, how you can design the app and make your apps look more appealing. So now we have our logo, we have a text that says sales directory. So please, if you have any question, just do not hesitate to draw me back, please. So just unmute and ask your question if you have any question, because we are getting deeper. We're going into the more advanced stage. So now I want to add a button. We've given the login screen a name. We've given it a background page. We've put our logo. Now I want to add a button. Want to add a button. So now we're still on that our insert tab. We are still under our insert tab. Can you see button here? Button. I want you to click on button. 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 I decide to change the color of the button also. Since the text there is like maroon color, you can change the color of the button here under this. Just so make sure the button is highlighted while you're doing this. You can see. Make sure your button has all these lines around it or these circles highlighted. Then go to your properties pane. You can see it here. This pane. This is your properties pane. Here is your properties pane. And you can change the color. You can see here text button. Change the color to this color also. And make sure it's still highlighted. Then let us change the text on the button. Change the text on the button. Under this your properties pane here, you can see text. Text. Let's say you want to change the name of that text to login because you want to fill in. That's the first page. You can just type login. Click on enter. Login. Login. So after you've put login now, we want to create an action on this button. So currently, if we try to play this app, we'll see that even though you click on that login, it's not going to move. It's not taking you to any screen. But we want this button, this login button, that when we click on the login button, it should take us to our browse screen one. It should take us to browse screen one. So now, you remember we said we have different tabs. You have your file, your home, insert, view, and action. So now we want to create an action on this button. Want to create an action on this button, want it to do something for us. So let's go to action. Let's go to action. So now we're in action. You can see here you have your formula bar, you have false. So you have fx, which is your formula bar. So you can use it to write formulas on that button. Let's say you want it to do a different thing, just like you do in your Excel. So Musin will be taking the that part where he'll be teaching us more about the functions. So now I just want to teach us a faster way of doing some functions like navigate. Instead of typing navigate and opening your bracket and putting browse screen, you can just quickly do it here. So you have different functions here. You have on select. So on select is like, so when I select this button, what do I want that button to do? You can have a hover feel. Okay, I want when someone is putting their mouse on top this button, I want it to show a color. You get, so that someone know that they're highlighting that button. So there are different things. So as we continue, as we go deeper, we'll talk more on that. But now what we want to use is on select. So we're saying, okay, when we are selecting this button, what do we want it to do? So if you look up here, you can see another ribbon here. You can see navigate. So navigate is telling this button that, okay, I want it to move just like English. You want to navigate it. So it's like, let's click on navigate. Click on navigate. So navigate is asking which screen do you want it to go to? You have different screens. You have your browse screen, you have your detail screen, your edit screen. If you want it to go to your edit screen, click on edit screen. If you want it to go to detail screen, click on detail screen. But we want it to go to browse screen, so click on browse screen. One. You can decide to change the transition just like you have in your PowerPoint, that you can change the transition or the transition of your slide. Okay, I want the next slide to transition in this way. I want it to change in this way. Okay, do I want it to fade? Do I want it to uncover right, uncover left? Or I don't want any transition, any screen transition. Okay, let's say we want cover right. Let's click on cover right. Let's click on cover right. Cover right. And then let's play our app before we add the second screen. So who can remember the shortcut to play our app?
F5.
F5.
F5. Okay, so let's click on F5.
Hello, Naya, please can you take it back from navigate currently?
Okay. Okay, so make sure your button is highlighted. Then go
It
to
is.
action. Can you see your action
Yes.
tab? Now click
Yes,
on
I
navigate here. Can you see navigate?
yeah.
Drop down. So you choose the screen you want it to navigate to. So we want it to navigate to browse screen. So we select browse screen 1. Then you
Okay.
can choose the type of screen transition you want. Let's play the app and see. So if I click on this button, you can see it has taken you to another page.
Thank you.
Yes. So let's try it again. So if your own has worked, just use the hand tool, click on the button, it takes you to your browse screen. You can decide to add another input. So if your own has been able to work, just use the hand tool. Use the hand tool if you've tested it out and it's working. Okay. I have 2 hands up. 3. Okay. Let's try it out. Okay. Before we move on, do you have any question before we add the second screen?
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay, so when I finished testing it, now you're trying to go back to the previous page. I just clicked on app, so now I'm lost. I'm unable to get the edit screen again.
Okay, where did you click on? Sorry.
So I clicked on the back button.
The back. Let me see.
So I'm no longer seeing where I did my login and co.
Oh,
So when so
that
I
means
went
you
back
didn't
to the
save
app
it.
to say
You
edit.
went back.
To,
Oh, wow. That
I
means
went
it
back
was
to
not
edit.
saved.
Now say, okay.
Okay,
So I
so
was saying whether I should override the previous.
no, don't override. Don't override. I
Okay.
don't know. So go back to the app. I think you should be able to recover it. It's like 5 minutes if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken. Let's see. Click on edit and see. Let's see to be able to recover. We're able to recover it.
I'm back there. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So
All
just
right.
let's quickly save it. Control S. Let's just do Control S, everyone. So in case something happens, we'll be able to recover it. Control S. So now let's add another screen. Let's go to Home. Go to your Home tab and click on a new screen. Let's click on. Okay, let's click on Success. Success. Or we can decide to create our own success screen. So I want us to create our own success screen. So let's click on a blank screen and create our own success screen. So let's name screen 2. You can name it success screen. Success screen. Success screen. So now we can decide to add, let's say, let me stop presenting and present again, sorry, because I'm so creative. I don't know why my screen is sitting like this. Okay. Tab. So let's say I want to create I want to add a GIF that says success. So I can just type Jiffy, or you can just look for any success image, but I'll just type Jiffy. So you will know what a GIF is, like a picture that is a little bit animated. You can add it to your success screen. Let's try something like that. So just type this on your browser. Type this on your browser. And click on it. Okay, so let's type success. Yes. Okay, so let's download. Let's take this. We can take this as our text. Okay, so let's download it. We can save this image. And we can call it success. Let's call it success. No, I don't like the way this one came out. I'm not able to get one now. I don't know why. But let's check a sticker. Success. And just get from Google too. I don't know why it's like this today. Now let's just check from Google. Success GIF. Success GIF. Yes. Okay. P1 here. So I can decide to save this one. Let me open this. Yes. Just check from Google. And we can decide to save this. Yes. Yes. Let's save this. You can decide to save this one. You can also see another one here. So anyone you feel you like, you can use that. So I can also save this. Then let's go back to our app. Go back to our app. And then let's bring in it as an image, a background image. So let's go to where we bring in our background image and add an image. I can bring the second one. So it's loading. Can bring the second one. Loading. Okay. Then now we can decide to add a text here. So let's go to insert. So okay, now it's successful, and now I want to tell the person, okay, what you've done is approved. We want to give you or let's say want to tell you, okay, it's successful. and this action has been completed, or you've completed the action you're supposed to do. So we can just insert a text. To go to insert tab, and after button you can see text. After button you can see text, and click on text
Hello, Naya.
label. Hello?
My GIF is when I put it as a background image, it's just static, so it's not animated.
So, but when you were downloading it, did it show GIF, like the kind of file?
Yes, yes.
It could be the network, because mine, if you notice at first, it took time to play. So maybe when we are doing it again, when we are playing the app, if it doesn't work, then you download another one and see. And make sure when you're downloading to specify, just like the way you save files on Word. If you're saving, sometimes you have to save as PDF. So it's possible when you were saving, it didn't come in as a GIF. Maybe that's why.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
So click on text label, and we can bring the label down, and we can say, what should we say? Okay, you or transaction was successful. Let's say transaction was successful. Let's say transaction was successful. Successful. And then we increase the font size. We can change it to Lato. We increase the font, let's say to 30. So we can make it semi-bold, and we can text alignment. We can change the color also. And we can just drag this up. You can leave it like this. Your transaction was successful. Then we can create an icon. We can add an icon here also. Okay, now maybe you mistakenly did something and you want to go back. We can now add an icon. So under this your insert tab here, you can see different things. After chats, you can see icon. Let's add an icon. Let's say a home icon. Let's check for any icon. Let's scroll down. I can decide to use the currency icon. I'll just put it here. This icon. And then we also want to create an action for this icon. Okay, I want this icon to take me back to my details screen. This icon that you brought in, you can just choose any icon of your choice. Explore, feel free to use any icon of your choice. It's all about the action you put on that icon that matters. So now I want to just use this icon. I want this icon to take me back to my details screen. So I'll go to action, action tab, and then I'll go to navigate again and select the screen I want that icon to take me to. So now we have different screens. So now let's go to detail screen 2. Detail screen 1. Want it to take us back to detail screen 1. I can choose this constitution or cover. Now we've created our login screen. We have our success screen. We have our browse screen. Let's go to our details screen. Let's go to our details screen. Our details screen 1. This screen that has all the details. So now we want this screen now. Okay, when let's say the manager has seen the receipt ID and the, let's say, the product the person got, we want the person to see, okay, after we've seen this detail, we want to go to our success screen. So you are sure that the details you have inputted is correct. We want to go to the success screen now. We just add a button. Go to insert, add a button. Let's drag the button down.
Hello, Noyan.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
I can hear you. Good
Yeah,
evening.
sorry, I'm a bit lost. Where you added the after the transaction successful, I think
Okay.
I'm a bit lost. That's adding this icon. The
Okay, this
icon.
icon.
Yes.
Okay, go to your insert tab. Are you on your insert tab?
Okay, I'm there.
So now look on the ribbons there. You have, after chat, you have icons. If you look at my
Yes.
screen. Yes.
Yes.
So now pick any icon of your choice. I chose that icon. Just pick any icon of your choice.
Okay.
We're just trying out the icon for now.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Then when you pick the icon, go to action. We want this icon to take us back to our details screen.
Okay, I should go to action. Yes.
Then click
Okay.
on navigate.
Navigate. Yes.
Then navigate to details screen, and you can choose any screen transition you want.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
so
Done that. Okay.
okay. Yes. So
Thank
now
you.
let's
Sorry,
go.
Noya.
Hello? I can hear you.
Yeah. After we click on the icon, what's the next step?
So go to action. Go to action. Make sure your icon is highlighted. Go to action tab. Then click on
Okay.
navigate. So we want this icon to take us back to your details screen. For example, maybe if you mistakenly imputed something and you want to just go back to your details screen, or let's say you want to go back, yes, to your details screen and look at what you did and edit it. So you just go back to the details screen. So we're navigating it to our details screen.
All right.
Yes, and choose any transition you want.
Sorry, but when I click the icon, it's not no
So
action
that's
is
because you've not played the app.
okay. Okay.
Yes, but we want to put a button in details screen first
Okay. Okay.
before we play the app. Yes.
All right.
So let's save Ctrl S so we don't lose it. Okay, so let's go to our details screen. Insert,
Then
go
please,
to,
when we are saving the one,
you say what?
when we are saving the work, the what we've been doing, is it advisable to save it on cloud or on
Yes,
computer?
save it on cloud. So go to insert a button. So I've already inserted a button. Insert a button. And let's rename the button. Let's call this button submit details, or just put submit, or send, or approve. Anyone you want.
Where are we now? On which screen, please?
So, we're on the details screen. Details screen
Okay,
one.
all right.
Yes. So insert a button and then let's rename the button to approve or send. Or submit. Can call it submit. Then we also add an action. So we want it to go. This button now, the person that you've looked at the details, you feel the details, they are okay. We want this button now to go to our success screen. So we are done with everything. You've gone through the details, the sales details, and you want to submit it. That's you're done. You want it to go to your success screen. That's why we're using this button. So we click on navigate again, navigate, and we select the success screen, success screen, success screen, success screen. So now let's go back to our login screen and play our app. Let's go to our login screen and play the app. So let us try it out. Once you try it out, use the hand tool. So I'll click my first button, which is login. I add a detail. Let's see, Noye. Add my amount. Let's say 300. Choose the product, a car, and then I submit. And then, okay, I want to see what Noye has done. I go here and okay, Noye's, this is her receipt ID. You can see the ID number, the receipt ID has auto-populated. You know, the one we did yesterday was ID 100 1 ID 1000. So now you have ID 1001, that's 1001, and then you want to submit these details, or you can decide to edit it. So click on submit and takes you to your success screen. And you can decide to go back. Oh, maybe I forgot something. It's not a car. I go back there and I want to edit this detail again, and I change the detail to a mobile phone. Submit, and then I submit it again. I should show you that your transaction was successful. So we've just added some screens now, and we've increased the usability of our app. So if you're done, just use the hand tool. If it has worked out for you, use the hand tool. So if you have any question, please ask your question before we go on our break now. Want to go on our
Okay.
break now? Yes.
So sorry, at this point now, how
Yes.
do I navigate away from here? Away from the play, because currently now it's showing play.
Okay. Okay. Can you see this this cross X sign here?
Yes, I saw it. Yes.
Yes. So
So
just
that's what I
click on
should
it.
click on.
Yes.
Okay. Then the other thing, the question I want to ask, when you navigate, there are things like just a moment, where you choose a different kind of, after the screen you want to work on, there is a screen transition fade, screen
Yes.
transition cover. What's the difference between all of them? How do you know which is appropriate to use in
So
terms of the difference?
it's all about, like I say, how you want your app to look like. So it's just like your normal transition in PowerPoint. Do you want it to, as the page is going, do you want it to fade away?
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
let me try fade for this button and play it. So if you play it, it just fades. It's not really like the transition is nice. So let me try another one. Mm, Let me try another one. Let's say on cover right. Let's see how it looks like. So can you see it goes to your right? Yeah, so it's just all about the one you feel. It's all about choice.
Okay.
Which one do you
Okay.
feel will be okay for the app you're building? Yes.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So we'll be going on break now, and when we come
Hello,
back from, okay, go ahead.
hello, Naya. I have a question.
Okay.
I think, edit screen or detail screen, there is a button of this where we can edit. Did you put that
Yes.
ourselves or it is there
No, it's there by default. So Power Apps created
by
three
default?
screens for you. Yes, and they added some buttons, some icons for you. So they didn't add any button, just icons for you. So if you go to your
Okay.
browse screen, you also have an icon to add a detail. You have to refresh, you have to sort. So those ones were created for you by your Power Apps.
Okay. And I clicked on app. So to go back to this screen, I couldn't go back. Instead of clicking on the cancel screen after playing, I went ahead to click on app. So I could not get
Okay,
back to this screen. How do I do
okay. Can you see your app, the one you created, Sales Directory app, or what you called it, any name you called it? Can you see the app
it?
you
I can.
created? Now click on
Yes, I
edit.
can.
Click on
My
the three
mobile
ellipses.
phone, so I can't find edit.
Okay, there are three ellipses by your app. Three like dots after the name of your app.
Mm,
Like something like this.
I can't see. Like I am on the app.
Itself, you're on the app itself. Okay, let me try something.
Yes, on the app.
So let me just go back. Make dot power app. So this is where you are, right? Apps. If you
Mm,
can see my screen.
yes, yes.
Now can you see these three dots here?
Okay, I can see.
Yes. Yeah. Now click on edit.
Okay.
Yes. Hope you were able to recover your 5 screens.
Um, Let me see. I'm trying to click on the edit.
Okay. So okay, if even if
Okay.
you were you able to get them back.
Yes, I can.
All right. So just save it, Control S, and then we go on break. So when we come
Thank
back
you.
from break, Musin will be taking over. You're welcome. You're welcome.
So we please can I ask a
Yes,
question, please?
yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, please. Concerning the, I tried. I'm on the login screen currently,
Yes.
and I tried putting it on display. But I noticed that whenever I try to click the login on the display, I was expecting it to
Like
take me
this.
back to yes, like that. So I was expecting it
Yes.
to take me back to the detailed screen where I'll be able to check for products, amounts, and all that.
You have
But
to play your app first before you can like have a preview
yes,
of your app
I
first.
did.
And it didn't take you to your detail screen.
It did take me to my detailed screen, but the products, amounts, and all that they are not showing. Just the search here.
Yeah, so you have to click this button here. Can you see my screen? This icon. You have to
Okay.
click this icon here and to show you all the details of that
Okay.
particular thing that you filled. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Then click on the submit
Okay.
button you
Thank you.
created. Yes. So and that way you can go away from this your app that you created. You can just press escape on your keyboard. Escape. Escape. That's your ESC button. Okay. Escape.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So let's go on break. So Musin. Hello Musin.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you. Well done. So this 9:29. So apparently we have 30 minutes to round up what we have for today's session. Apologies everyone. I would exercise some veto power, and basically it's so that we are able to catch up with what is expected of today's session, and so we do not have to um, we do not have to carry some things over till the next session. So our break will be shorter today. We'll go for say 2-3 minutes break, and then when we return, we'll talk about some other things that we can do on our app. So thank you, Noya. So let's just go on say 2-3 minutes break, so we can take some water, just stretch our legs, and then we're back. 9:33 we should be back. So let's go now.
What you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go. And the question is whether you have a proper, a solid, and a sound blueprint. And I want to suggest some of the things that should be in your life's blueprint. Number one in your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate significance. Secondly, in your life's blueprint, you must have, as a basic principle, the determination to achieve excellence in your various fields of endeavor. You're going to be deciding as the days and the years unfold what you will do in life, what your life's work will be. Once you discover what it will be, set out to do it and to do it well. be a bush, if you can't be a tree, if you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are. Finally, in your life's blueprint must be a commitment to the eternal principles of beauty, love, and justice. Well, life for none of us has been a crystal stair, but we must keep moving. We must keep going. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl, but by all means, keep moving.
Um, all right. So I am back. Let's confirm that we are back as well. 9:33. Are we back? Are we back? Let's use the razor icon, or we just unmute ourselves to say we're back. So I know that I have the number of people. Okay, great. You can see two on top. Who else is back with us? Three, 1, 2, 3, 4. Interesting. All right. So now what we have done so far, okay, thank you very much, everybody. So what we have done so far is to look at things that would set us in pace on how to develop our apps within the Power Apps. But there is more we can do. When we look at, for instance, Microsoft Excel, I want to believe probably everyone on this call has used Excel before. Yes, the level of usage might differ, and hopefully, like we had in the during the introductory talk on the group, that there will be a time or Excel will be part of what we do. So we're going to schedule that outside of these, so that we don't have too much things clogged up together. So Excel, some other stuff, we'll look at a time that we can look at those in details. In Microsoft Excel, for instance, people do quite a number of things, but if you want to be able to enjoy the utmost flexibility that you so need, then you need to advance the way you use that tool. The same thing in Power Apps. What we have built so far is enough an application. You have all your screens, and those screens, you have added navigation, you have captured certain details, the details have been saved in your data source, you're good. But you could want to do more things. To put that into context, let me show us one app here. And by the way, can we all see my screen? Can we
Yes.
see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. All right. So I have an app here. So this app, let me just preview this app so that I show us. But before, okay, let me preview. So I show us some of what I'm trying to drive at. So on this particular screen, this is the welcome screen for this app. We'll see that to the bottom right, we have the date. This is today's date. On the bottom right, we have a text on the left side, and then we have a button here. So the features that we have here, this date is automatically generated. So if I launch this app tomorrow, I expect that tomorrow's date should be here. If I launch this app anytime after now, so what I expect is that this text should always be here, and there is a way to go about it. So if I click on this welcome button now, if I click on the welcome button, it takes me to this page, and on this page I have this notice. I expect that they read this notice, and I want to be sure that they have read this notice. So if anyone wants to just go ahead and click on this new request without reading this button, they will not be able to. So I'm clicking now. They will not be able to. The button has been rendered inactive. So that what I want to ensure is that, yes, read everything I have here, And when you read what I have here, then you can go on to now click on this button to confirm that you have read this. And it is only then that these buttons would be active. So if I click on this button now that I have read it, then you can see that my button is active and I can go on. And then someone might want to say that, oh, let me go and see, let me log in as a supervisor. So you want to log in as a supervisor. If you click here, it brings us this page for you. You need to enter a password. We need to be sure that you are actually a supervisor. So enter the password here, submit. If the password is correct, you'll be told that the password is correct. Okay, now it's telling me the wrong password and I can't submit, obviously. So what I need to do, because I'm not a supervisor, I need to exit and then do a new request because that is me. Okay, and then here we have a number of things that it's aware already that it is me, that I'm logged onto this app. There is a way to do that. And then for the supervisor here, I need to just search. Maybe my supervisor is David Brown, so I can just type David here and then it's going to bring David Brown details. I'll click on David Brown and I can move on. So these are some of the things that we can do on our app, but we would not be able to achieve this by default. And that is what will lead us to functions and logics in Power Apps. When we talk about low-code platforms are low code because of the fact that we are not writing codes really. We are not coders. But to extend the functionality within whatever solution that we build in the Power Platform, we need to have knowledge of certain functions. So just like Excel is a functional tool. It works on functional languages, not programming languages. And when we say functions, really, or let me ask, what do we think is the difference between a formula and a function? What is the difference? Anybody? What's the difference between a function and a formula?
Well, I think they're the same.
Okay, Olumide thinks they are the same. All right, thank you for that trial. So who thinks they are different?
They are
Or
different.
we all
I think
think
they're
that they
the
are the
Functions
same.
same?
are functions are inbuilt, I think.
Functions
While
are
I
inbuilt.
don't
formulas
I
you
don't think they
need
are
to create
different.
them.
Hold on, Yinka. Hold on a bit, Yinka. Oluwafemi, you said functions are inbuilt, while formulas are?
You create them. I don't know.
You create
Just
formulas. Okay, all right. Great
but they're
trial there,
different.
but they are different. Okay, thank you for that. Yinka, please go on.
I said I don't think they are different.
Okay, you think they're the same. All right. Okay, they're actually different. Functions are different from formulas. And let me go to Excel. Let me show something on Excel. Let me just do a new file here and let me try to zoom this. So now if I have this and then I just have, say, why is this not filling? Fill series, fill series. Don't waste my time. So let me do this, C and D. And then I have some values here. Let's say I have, let me just quickly generate some values. So I want to generate something between 2 and 100. And let me copy this down. So now I have this. These are the values that I have. And what I want to do is I want to know the total of these values. That is what I want to do. So if I come here, an approach is that I will do equal to, I will do 9. Okay, that's the value for A. I will do plus 46, that's value for B, plus 34, value for C, plus 76, that is the value for D. I will hit enter. This is the sum, that is the total. Okay, correct. Another approach is that I could say my total equals to whatever is here on my cell C3 plus whatever is on this plus whatever is on this and whatever is on this. Okay, that's still correct. Total. Another approach is to say that, okay, let me leverage on some things that are inside of Excel. So I could do equal to sum, and then I will come here, highlight this entire range, close my bracket and hit enter. These three approaches gives the same result. But the difference here is that here we have manually told Excel what we want to do. Excel, pick 9, add it to 46, add it to 34, add it to 76. That is what we told Excel here. We went on the second approach. We said, Excel, please go to cell C3, whatever is in cell C3, add it to what is in cell C4, add it to what is in cell C5, and add it to what is in cell C6. But in the last approach, what we did was that we did equal to sum, and then we specified the range from C3 to C6. What Excel has done here is, because when you type out sum, there is something within the engine of Excel which goes to the fact that, okay, when someone says equal to sum, then what they are trying to do is to do an addition. So that means what the user is expecting here is for me to add whatever value is within the range of C3 to C6 and return the result. Okay, so the difference in all these approaches now is, for 1 and 2 approach, 1 and 2, what had happened was that because of the fact that we manually specified what we wanted to do, then we have applied the addition formula. That is the addition formula that we applied. The addition formula is A plus B plus C. That is a formula. So you could say that the formula average is x1 plus x2 plus x3 over the number of variables or the number of data points that you are looking at. That is a formula. So when you manually specify what is expected to generate a result for you, you are applying a formula. But when you leverage on what has been pre-built within something, then you are leveraging on a function. So a function has within it, pre-built into it, a formula. So that is the difference. Formula, you're doing a manual thing. Function, you are leveraging on pre-built formula. That's a sort of a difference there. I hope this is a bit clear. So I just want to use that to drive home something. So Excel being a functional language, we need to understand certain functions before we would be able to extend the capabilities and the flexibilities within that particular engine. The same thing happens within the Power Apps. Power Apps has its own language. Power BI has its own language. Power Automate has its own language. Power Virtual Agent has its own language. But what Microsoft is trying to do now
Excuse me, we are not
Hello,
hearing you again.
so
I can't
sorry.
hear
Okay.
Hussein again.
Sorry, like I lost my internet for some seconds. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes, sir, we
Yes,
can.
we can.
Sorry about that. So please, what was the last thing we heard? So I'm sure.
You said what
So
Microsoft
Okay,
was
Microsoft
trying to
formula.
do is
leverage.
Okay, great. Yeah. So Microsoft is trying to now unify the entire languages. So in Power Apps, the way you write Power Apps function is different. Power Automate, it has its own syntax or syntax, whatever way we pronounce it. Power BI has its own language and the way it is written. So, but they are still working on unifying the entire thing, and they have given it a name. It is called Power FX. So, if we research on Power FX, that is the language that Microsoft is coming up with for the Power Platform. So, for anyone who understands Power FX, which of course would work on would leverage on the way we write functions in Excel. So if one is sound in writing functions in Excel, obviously you wouldn't have so much issues understanding that language. But before then, we still continue with the way to write functions in Power Apps, and then we're going to see some of the few things that we can do writing just little functions in Power Apps, and then we see how we can have that up the way our app would actually look and feel. Sorry, my own app is too dry. I don't know designs. Yeah, so no, yeah, she's very good at designs, aesthetics, and all. But me, I don't know. My stuff are too dry. So, but this is the app we are working on. And so we have the screens, the detail screen, the browse screen, and the edit screen. So, but let's quickly do something. Let me just let me see if I can zoom this a bit. Yeah. So let me add a screen. I want to add a blank screen. And on this blank screen, I want to insert two inputs. I want to have a text input on this a text input. I'll add a second text input here. Okay, and then I will add, let me add a label. Let me add a label. Yeah. So now you see that all these objects that I added on this blank screen, they are all on that screen one here. What I'm trying to do here is for each of these text inputs, I will take in some values, and then I want to see the summation of whatever values are in this text input on my label. By the way, text input and labels, they do almost the same thing. The difference is that text input takes input from users. So when we go back to our edit screen, this name card here is a text input. That is why we're able to type in something as a user. The amount here is a text input. That is why we're able to type in something as a user. So if it were to be a label, we would not be able to type in anything. We can only view. So label is view only really. It can't take inputs from users. So now I have this. So I'll come to my screen one. I have these two text inputs and I have my label. So if I play this up, and for text input 1, if I put 25, text input 2, if I say 36, then my label is not doing anything yet. You can see it's just showing text. It's not doing anything yet. But what I want you to do is whatever I put here, this 25 and 36, I want you to sum it up and return the result. How do I do that? I'll come to this label, and on the text property of the label, to the right, we have the properties pane. Some of the stuff that we have on this properties pane, we can also access them on this bar here. So if I click on the drop down here, I can access some of these or most of these commands that I have here. I can also access them here. So for the text property of this label, what I want you to do is to take whatever is here and add it to whatever is here. But how do I do that? Let me go back to Excel. Let me show something on Excel. If I come to Excel, now I have this. Let's say these are our employees. These are our employees, and then this is the salary. The salaries, and then we want to get let's say tax. We want to deduct tax from the salaries, and our taxes are let's say it's just between 1 and 5. Okay, so and then I just copy this down, and then I want to fix this so that it doesn't automatically update. Now, so this is what we want to do. We have our employees, and then we have the salaries, and we have the taxes. So what I may do is to come here. I want to subtract tax from salaries so that we know how much Mr. A is going to go home with at the end of the month, and do the same for Mr. B, C, and D. By the way, what function do we use to subtract in Excel? How do we subtract in Excel? What function? I know I have Excel gurus in the house. So what functions do we use? No one has an idea? Or we have not done subtraction before in Excel? Okay, how do we subtract in Excel? Maybe that's a clearer question.
We can use the normal sign to subtract, or we can use the function s sub also, like sub
The function what? The function what?
subtract.
The function subtract. Okay. Mienka, you want to say
Sub.
something?
No.
Okay. So, well, subtract, I don't know. It's not in my own Excel. Maybe my Excel, it's not updated really. So, but I don't know of a subtract function in Excel. I think that's a shortcoming from Microsoft Word. I don't know. So, but what we could do is, yes, of course, we can say this minus this. But when we have so much cells that we want to subtract, this may not be efficient. So we could just say equal to sum, and then we specify this cell, that's the first cell, and then we put a negative before this other cell and hit enter. Okay, so this gives us the difference there, Control D. So, but now, if I'm not in, if I'm not on a cell that is directly in front of these guys, what I want to perform that operation on, I will need to reference the cell that I want to perform that operation on, and so that Excel is not confused on what I want to do. Sorry, please. So what I'm trying to say is this. Maybe I'm here now, and I want to say Mr. A take home. Sorry, seem like I'm a bit under the weather, so that's sorry for that. So now, Mr. A take home is what we want to calculate here. So what we could do is to say that equal to, we come here to pick Mr. A, then minus, we come here to pick what his tax is. But if we are working on an Excel file that is very large, this may not be efficient. So we need a way to quickly recall what cell Mr. A's salary is on, and then what cell Mr. B's salary is on. Someone would say that I will just have to memorize, okay, Mr. A's salary is on cell C3. Mr. A's tax is on D3. Fine, you could do that. But another way to do it is just come to Mr. A's salary here, stay on this cell, and then on your cell address, you see the cell address at the left, you see C3. So just click on that and let's name this to Mr. A salary. Okay, enter. Then I'll come to the tax here, go to my address, and then I'll name this to Mr. B, Mr. A, sorry, tax. This is just Excel, but I'm just using this to drive home something. So now then I can come here, do Mr. A take home, and that would be equal to the sum of, then what I want to do is Mr. A's salary. You can see I have that already here. Mr. A's salary, comma, minus Mr. A tax. That is what I want to do. I'll close my bracket, I'll hit enter. So I don't need to go to that cell to get the exact cell address, because I have given that cell a name, and the name is what I have referenced here, Mr. A salary and Mr. A tax. Let's go back to Power Apps. Is this clear to us? Do we get the concept?
Yes,
Yes.
I do.
Great. All right. So if you go back to Power Apps now, if you get back to Power Apps, so what we want to do here is this label here, we want it to output the summation of whatever is on this text box and whatever is on this other text input. The summation is what this should output. So now, we need to be sure of what this is called. So when you click on an object, you get the name of that object. You can see here it is text input 1. So we can rename it so that we are clear. So I can double click this and then rename this to value 1. So value 1, and then I can come to the other text box. This other text box, I click on it, come to the tree view, double click, and let's call this value 2. And of course, all our screens, we can rename them. So it depends on how we want things to look, and then it assists when we are developing whatever solution. So now I have value 1 and value 2. So the summation of what I have on value 1 and value 2 is what I want to see on my label 1. So now the label 1 at the moment, the text output is showing text, and because that is what is on our formula bar, that is why we can see text here. So if I change what is here to Mohsin, you'll see that what I will have here would be updated to Mohsin. You can see we have this updated to Mohsin. It's the network. It hasn't gotten the end yet. Okay. So now I click back on this. That means whatever we want to see here, we should find a way of telling Power Apps that for this text property of the label, this is what we want to see. But at this time, we don't want to see more saying. So I'll clean this up. I'll clean this up. And what we want to see is the sum of whatever is in value 1 and value 2. So I'll do value 1. And when I begin to type, you see that I have some suggestions, some intelligence. So I'll select value 1. But value 1 is a control. What do we mean by a control? So a control is like a house for something within which there are a number of things. So what we want from this value 1 text input box is that we don't want the skeleton itself. We don't want the entire thing. What we want is go inside of that box and then retrieve whatever value the user has input into it. That's the value that we want to use. So to get into it, we just say this is an input box, in a text input box. So I will put dots. I'll select text. You can see I have options for text here, so I'll select text. That is come back to my label. That's it's my internet that's dragging things, and then I'll do plus. What am I summing to this? I will do value 2. I'll come down to value 2. I want to also get to whatever is within it. Dot text, whatever a user has put into it. That is what I need. That is all. So now I expect that my label will now output the result of this one and whatever is here. So now let me go and play this up. So you can see at the moment it's showing me 0 because there is no value here. So if I clean this up, I'll do 25. You can see as I'm inputting this, it is updating. And then this one, I can say 35. So I have 60 here. I can say 782. And then this one, I change this to, it will continue to output whatever is the summation of what is input in the first and the second. We may want to take this a bit further now. Someone is looking at this. Okay, what value is this? We are not sure of what this is, but we want to make this a bit more intuitive so that whoever sees it, they know that, okay, this is the summation of what is above. Then we can take our function a bit further. So this is 10 p.m. already. We'll stop soon. Just give me like 5 minutes. I'll run this up, and then whatever is next, we're going to take it in the next class and add some other things that we need to do on the Power Apps. So now I can come here just behind this formula that I've written. I can come here, and of course, instead of doing a plus, a formula, the sum function exists here as well. So let's do this, the sum. So I can say sum. Let me do sum of, I'll open my brackets. My internet is pretty slow a bit. Sorry for that. just some seconds. So let me wait. Let me see if this would load up. Um, okay, so now I have this. So then I will need to remove this, put a comma here, and then I'll close this, and it should do the same thing. So you should go on to sum whatever is here to whatever is here. I don't know why my internet is acting up this night. So mm, 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 um yeah. So now another thing we may want to do is, so we make this a bit intuitive. This is still actually loading. So when it's loaded, you see some color bands around them, whatever formula or function you have written. And if there are errors, you see some underlines there. But at the moment, as you have it like this, you're still trying to load what I have here. So, but regardless, so what more we want to do is we want to do something like, we want to say the answer is this value. We want to say the answer is this value, or the summation is this value. So what I could do is to do a text. The summation is, I'll close my double quote, and then I would concatenate this. So for those of us that were coming from Excel, so it's either you write a concatenate function or you use an ampersand. It works just the same. So I want to concatenate this, and what that means is I want to join two different things together, usually text. That is, I want to join them together. That is what concatenation is. So now the summation is, then I will write my formula value 1, and then I want to add these to value 2. I'm adding this to value 2, and a best practice could be that, let me put this into brackets. Sorry, someone is saying something. Sorry, is that for us? Okay, maybe not. So now we have this, so we can have this, and then if I play this, you see what we have now. The summation is this. So if I change this value, just add some, the summation is this. So this is just very basic. This is very basic of what we can do. But I promised 5 minutes, and then we have 4 minutes at the top of the hour. So I wouldn't want to take more of our time than this work tomorrow. So we'll see some of all the things that we can do with functions within Power Apps. We see some of those in the next class. But what I've just tried to do now is to set a basis, so we understand that just like we do certain things in Excel, we can apply that knowledge, transfer it to some of what we want to achieve within the Power App space, and then that would allow us some level of extensibility within what our Power Apps would have normally or ordinarily done if it were to be at the base level or the default level of, say, we just add screens, we just had media and some other stuff. Do we understand this concept? What I've just done, is it a bit clear to us?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Someone has a question? Anybody has a question?
Okay, my question is not on this particular one you just did, but I
Okay.
want to refer to when you were looking at the leave application. So let's say you
Okay.
develop this app now, but you wanted to
Yeah.
pick an information, okay, from maybe another file. Are we going to get to that point where,
So
like,
pick an,
like where you were,
I want, okay, go on, please.
like where you were referring to, let's say, supervisor, but there's a file
Yeah.
of supervisor. How do you link that? Will we get to that point?
Okay. So when we work on Power Apps, really, we can work with multiple data sources. What we are doing at the moment is we have a single data source. That is our sales table, sales app table, or something we call it. We can link some other data sources that has different details. So we may not get to that because what we have booked for Power Apps is 4 sessions really, and then so we can touch on some other technologies as well. But what we can do is after this entire session, this entire series, we could have a sort of an advanced, what's it called, advanced curriculum that will take care of some of these, so that because of the fact that some of us are pretty new to it, and if we go through the entire ecosystem, it may be a bit choking. So that's why we may not get to that within this series, but hopefully we should have another series after we have seen that okay, we are comfortable with this, and then we are able to we now understand the concepts, we are able to apply the learnings to a great extent, and then we would be able to follow through when we begin to discuss some of the advanced concepts. Then we can have another series that will take care of that. But what that would do really is to have multiple data sources, link them up, and then connect whatever data source you want to pull data from to that particular page where you want to, or that screen where you want to pull data onto for use within your app. I don't know if I spoke to that a bit.
Yes, you did. Thank you. Can I
Okay, yeah,
ask
you're
a,
welcome.
a last question on the yesterday you gave us an assignment, to
Okay,
download the
yes.
Power app on the Android. So I did, but in trying to
Okay,
put my when it came to the signing with your work or school email account, when I
yes.
imputed that PP series account details, it wasn't
Okay,
just
okay.
responding. I'm wondering, is that what I was supposed to put at that point?
Yes.
You know
So you
that
click on
email?
sign in that has
Yes,
.microsoft.com.
yes.
Yes, it should work really. It should work.
Okay,
So we just need to confirm that we input that correctly.
okay,
So it should work. Yeah. So we
okay,
input that, and then the same password that we use on the web, we use that as well, and that should work.
okay. All right,
So we
thank
can try it again, and then if there are issues, please let's know.
you. Okay, thank you.
And
All right. Yeah,
hello,
Barakat, you
Mohsin.
have some.
I have a question on
I
that. I actually inputted the PPI series
okay,
password, my username
okay,
at PPI series password. Then I
yeah,
used the password also. But I
okay.
was directed to a link to install Microsoft app locker,
Authenticator.
like that, authenticator exactly. I
Yeah,
installed it. Then it's asking me to log
okay.
into Microsoft. Then
Uh, okay, go on.
I tried logging in using that password, saying it is wrong.
Okay,
So I'm guessing I'm
it's
supposed to
saying.
use.
Mm.
Hello?
Actually, the Microsoft Authenticator part, we could ignore it. So what Microsoft is doing is that, so whenever you want to sign on to any application, usually, it's for all these double authentication or so stuff. So it requests that do you want to receive a secure code via SMS of our calls. So that's what they used to do. So now they have come with the authenticator. And so when you install the authenticator on your mobile, what it does is whenever you want to sign on to a Microsoft app, a Microsoft owned app, then it requests that you approve access using that authenticator. So it is just a way to guard against third party third party unauthorized usage of whatever application that belongs to you. So but you could try to sign in again and then ignore the authenticator part. I think there should be an option to skip, so
Yeah.
ignore that part, and probably that would prompt you to have to have a code sent to your email, or to have a code sent to you via SMS, and then that should be fine, I think.
Mm, thank you.
All right,
Hello,
you're
Musa.
welcome. I Olumide.
Yeah, with regards to the assignment,
Yeah.
I was able to log in and I was able to see what we've done so far. But
Okay.
however, that's the previous teacher made mention of something about one-time error. So I was
One
wondering
time error.
if, yeah, like a check or something to detect if there's any error in your error in the work.
Okay,
Like,
okay, okay,
so
okay.
I was wondering if logging into the Power App site using the our details is that a better way of checking for the one-time error, or using the play F5 button? I don't really understand that concept.
Okay, great. All right. So for managing errors within the Power Apps, one is, let me clear this. Power Apps Mobile would only allow us to make use of the app. We cannot develop on the mobile. So for whatever solution we want to develop, even if we were the old ones that created that app initially, but we still want to improve on the app, we can do that only on the web. We can't do it on the mobile. So for errors that Noye mentioned in the last class, so I don't know if we can see my screen now. Olumide, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so now as I am on the Power App Studio, this is called the Power App Studio. So at the top right, where you have the commands to preview your app and all, you see a command here, which is the app checker.
Okay.
So if I click on app checker, so now it should open a pane for me telling me that whether I have errors on my app or not. So let's create an error. So let me close this, and then I'll come to my label. So and instead of having this ampersand here, I will remove the ampersand, and that should return an error. You can see now even the label is telling me that there's an error. Okay, so now, but in the situation whereby probably on the label I'm not even getting this red sign, what I need to just do is come to this app checker. You can see on the app checker there is a red sign there, which is an indication that there is an error. I'll click on that, and then it's telling me that formulas, I have one formula which has an error. So if I expand that, it will tell me the location of that error. It's saying that the error is on screen 1, which is here, and then it's telling me that there is an unexpected character on the label. So if I click on this, it takes me straight there. You can see on the formula bar, it takes me straight there, and then it expects that I edit it. And once I put the ampersand here, then the error should go off. You can see no errors found.
Okay.
You get. So essentially, so whatever we are developing, just keep an eye on the app checker. Once you see a sign, a red sign there, that means there's an error in the app. Expand it to see what type of error. It tells you what type of error, and then you can go ahead to fix it.
Okay. Thank you.
I hope you're
Thank you.
okay. You're welcome. Okay, no other question. Are we good?
Listen, please, I have a
Um,
question.
Okay, Sandra.
Yes.
Yinka, please after Sandra.
So I
Go on,
wanted to
Sandra.
confirm for the text input, how do you limit it to figures? So if, let's say, someone in the organization is trying to fill in that form, how do you limit it to
Yeah,
just figures and not text or strings?
are not strings. Okay. So there are a number of ways to do that. One of the ways is to ensure that one, you can do that from your database. So for instance, now let me share my screen again. My screen is up. So now if I come to our edit screen, so this is our edit screen here now. If I play this up, and where I have amounts, if I try to write David, I want to clean this. I'm putting, you can see it's not allowing me to put a text here. Why? Because when we were configuring the data verse table, we had mentioned that our amount column should only take, I think, currency or decimal. Do you remember, Sandra?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so that is a way. So like our name now, if I come here and I want to put some figures, it's taking it because figures at this time, well, I don't know, maybe we did not expressly specify that they should take only text, but normally there is a way to manage that. But what I want you to pick from here is one is that we can manage that from our data source, ensure that you have the correct data type, and then anything outside or that is not that data type would not be accepted. The second way is if I'm building my app from blank now, for instance, so and I've inserted a text input like this. I can come here. So this is I click on this and I come to the properties pane. So I can actually do a formatting. Um, if I click on the format here, I can format it as text or numbers. But note something, the formatting would not restrict what is put here. The formatting would not restrict what is put here, but it will only how do I explain this? It will only um okay. What I'm trying to say is it will not validate what is here in the sense that it will not, if a user is trying to put in text here, it will accept it, even if you format it as number. That will not solve it. But the ultimate way to solve it within this Power Apps Studio is to write some functions. And one of the functions we can write is the isMatch function to validate whatever a user is putting here. So there's a function in Power Apps that's called isMatch. So if I do isMatch here, we may not do that really today. We'll get to that in our next class. So if I do isMatch, so you see we have an isMatch function, and then the description is determines if the supplied text has a match of the supplied text format. So we want to link this, we want to validate this just the same way we validate in Excel, that whatever someone put in here that does not match this predetermined format, then it should throw an error. And when that happens, we can also disable our button or whatever we are using to control the input here, such that if there are errors on this page, then that's the button will not be active or the user will not be able to move past this page. So those are some of the things that we can look at hopefully when we get deeper into functions, hopefully if we get there, or probably we look at those later in some advanced classes. But really the best bet is try to define everything well within your data source, the data type, define everything well. But if you are building your app from blank, you may not have sole control over that. Then you want to do some validations within your Power Apps itself. I don't know if that's a bit clear.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, Yinka, you have a question?
Actually, it's not a question. It is about the assignment you gave us yesterday.
Okay, please go on.
So I was able to log into the app from my mobile phone, and I was also able to add a data to it from my mobile phone.
Add a data, you mean you used the app to input
Yes.
details, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, now, so what did you do differently when it got, did it tell you to download Microsoft Authenticator?
Actually, I have the Power App on my phone before,
Okay.
but I did not re-download it. I just
So
logged
you
in on
just
it.
signed in and then you
Yes.
you were fine. Okay.
Yes.
So I believe everyone should be fine really. So let's just let's explore it again, and then if there are issues, please let's mention it on the group before next class so that it will not be stuff that we'll be addressing that will eat up some of the time that we have for the next session. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. So we meet again. It's 20 minutes past the hour already. So we meet again next weekend, hopefully, where we'll conclude Power Apps, and then we should begin Power BI. So, but please let's practice. So some of these scenarios that we're talking about, they are to give us an idea of what we could do, the possibilities, and some of those should stand as basis foundations for whatever we would try to do. So whatever when you think of it, I tell people believe that thing is possible. So it's just for you to now figure out how that can be done. It may not be direct, there might be some tweak to it, but almost everything is possible. So, and if there are technologies that we are using today that we are thinking logically around certain things that we want to achieve, but we are unable to do it at the moment, know that that feature would come. That feature would be would come, would be the technology would be updated to accommodate that feature in the near future. So almost all of these things are evolving, and then just think it and then think around how you can do that same thing, replicate it within that technology. And if there are stumbling blocks, you're stuck somewhere, please, we can always raise it. That's why we are here. So we see how we can support ourselves on this learning phase. So yes, let me not take more time. So thank you very much everyone for staying through till now, and we hope to see ourselves next weekend, God willing. So bye for now everyone. Let's do have a great week ahead.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.